What's up, people? Figured I would come back on here, answer a couple more questions that people have submitted. Kind of like doing these, and it's a good way to keep pumping out shit that's interesting. Today, got a couple of pretty in-depth questions, so I wanted to dedicate their own video just for them. The first question comes from my buddy Jaime from the band's Defecator, and he's also in Abhorrency and Killgasm, Rotten Funeral, Larry David, a plethora of other bands. We've been friends for a while, and he's just a good dude, so I figured I would give him the time of day. Anyway, he asks, I got a question for you on your next episode. Could you talk about complainers and punishers? How often do you get complaints from people their package was damaged or didn't show up, and do you just refund or replace, no questions asked, or what's your process? How often do you get harassed and nitpicked about things like where's the tracking, why wasn't it packed better, why is there a crack on the case, etc.? Any other outrageous punisher stories you can share? So I think that I'll say this just to begin with. I've never had much in life. Like, I didn't grow up rich, or even middle class, or, you know, with multiple parents and all that kind of shit. So, to me, one of the only things you have in this life is respect. So, respect means everything to me. And any sort of disrespect, I don't fuck with at all. If somebody wants to be disrespectful, that's the end of it. We're not even gonna take it any further. Either it's gonna escalate to physical violence, or we're just gonna let it be. Like, there's no, I'm not one of these people I hold grudges, and if I catch people talking shit, or if I know somebody that's talking shit, for instance, like if somebody talks shit about even a friend of mine, you know, I take that shit personally. I'm not good with it. So when it comes to me and how I do my business as a label, if somebody is going to question my practices and what I do, instantly we're on a bad footing right there. As far as people that order stuff from me, you know, I'm just a person, and I play in death metal bands, and I put out death metal bands. I'm not the nicest person there is. Like, I'm not gonna just roll over if somebody wants to be slick, you know, like, it's not cool with me. So with that said, I try to do a good job at what I do. I've worked a lot of retail jobs and with customer service, so I know just how much the general public fucking sucks. And I also have been on the opposite end, to where I've worked with a lot of labels that are fucking abysmal as a fan and somebody that purchases stuff. So I try to personalize everything that I do for people and try to go above and beyond. I don't think I've ever sent a package with just what was ordered and nothing else. I always try to go above and beyond with everything. So I used to get a lot of questions about tracking and all that sort of shit. I don't respond. I don't have fucking time. Dude, you're punishing me over like 40 cents, or whatever the fuck it is. You'll get your shit when you get your shit. I've never really had like super long delays when I have things, because I don't like to get buried by a couple thousand orders. So I send shit out pretty quickly. And it's never been super delayed. But if it is because of stuff out of my, that I can't control, I'll usually reach out to people and let them know, or just kind of be like transparent, be like, hey, you know, we were expecting this then, it didn't happen. That's why I don't fuck with pre-orders anymore. I don't have the time to fucking respond to people wondering where their shit is. Speaking of like the fossilization records, I didn't want to do fucking pre-orders for those. The other label that I worked with, they were super adamant that we launch them at a certain time. That was not how I would do things. They can, we did it together because we worked together, but that's not particularly how I want to do business, because then I had a few thousand orders in my queue of people that ordered multiple things, and instead of being able to send it all at once, I had to split up their orders. And it's just kind of a pain in the ass. So now I don't even fuck with pre-orders at all. Another thing is people that think that they're gonna get like an Amazon experience, or that I'm just gonna be nice. Like, nah, it doesn't really work like that. I'll usually be respectful and kind, and if I notice that I fucked up on something, I'll always go above and beyond to make sure that I did a good job and like take care of you and hook you up with free shit on the next round. As long as you're not a cocksucker about it. If you're a fucking cocksucker, like, that's it. That's where we're done. When people ask like, they want to return or whatever, that's fine. Or like, I don't know how to say it properly, but a lot of Europeans are fucking condescending pricks, and that want to order things that really, really fucking piss me off. I don't know what it is with you fucking Germans, but you think you're fucking funny with some of the shit that you say, and let's just say that if you said that in person, any of that condescension, if I caught it, we would not be having a calm, cool, collected conversation together. So I want to say that sometimes it's a language barrier that maybe they just don't understand, but usually people that don't speak English that write me, and I'm not to say like, oh, you have to speak English and buy from me. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, that's nothing. But I just don't know if it's like they translate things and it doesn't translate. But sometimes there are people that are just fucking punishers that I just cannot stand. So with them, I don't know, I'll give you an instance of like one of the last orders. Usually when I send stuff outside of the country, it can get stuck in customs for up to a month, which is just, it's not something that I can necessarily control. So I did my part and I sent it out, and it'll just sit there. Well, one of these guys was like really fucking like pissed that they had to wait for one of their tapes because we can't track them outside of America. We can just track to the customs, and then there's a different tracking number, and most people don't realize that there's two different tracking numbers. So they'll be like, oh, did you send this? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Here's a record proof that I sent this. Here's the date. It shows you when it got to customs, yada, yada, yada. This guy, for some reason, wanted to just be a fucking prick. And it was like, oh, if it doesn't get here in a week, I'm going to file a PayPal claim, and I'm demanding a refund. And I'm just like, okay, well, do me a favor. I'm going to just save you time and hassle, and I'm going to send you a refund right now, and you can go fuck yourself. Don't ever try to fucking order from me again. Don't ever try to support me, my bands, anything that I do. You're fucking done. Like, that's it. This is where this ends. Go fuck yourself. Done. Here's your fucking $15 or $20 refund for your fucking tape. Like, and this cocksucker had the audacity to be like, oh, I was going to be such a big supporter. You lost somebody that was going to come in. Like, check it out, man. You're one fucking person. I can go find other people, or just not deal with you entirely. That's okay with me. $20 fucking dollars, dude, no fucking problem. I'll throw that shit away in an instant. Well, this guy responded and was all fucking butthurt, like, I can't believe that you're talking to me like this, yada, yada, yada. Again, fucking German or someone over there in Europe, maybe French, I don't fucking know. And he says something back to me, and I'm just like, why are you even fucking writing me anymore, dude? This is done. Long story short, this motherfucker, he ended up getting his package a couple of weeks later, and he noticed that there was like extra shit in his package that I sent, like another tape and like a bunch of extra goodies. And this guy tried to send me the refund back. And I don't know if he thought that that was gonna make things cool, but it's not, dude. Like, I'm a fucking person. You can't just treat me like shit because whatever fucked up things are going on in your life and that's what you believe you're entitled to. That's not how we work, and that's not how I operate. So with people like that, it's just like one and done. For people that talk to me about they got a broken case with their tape, it's a fucking tape, dude. Does the tape play? Okay, I fucking whatever. It's a fucking crack in a case. Put a different case on it. They're interchangeable. It's not that big of a deal. I fortunately have not had to deal with too many people that complain about that. I have had some shit that the UPS or USPS looks like they fucking drove a car over and like completely demolished it. And for those people, I go above and beyond and like hook them up and like make sure that I do like extra padding. I'll fucking wrap it in bubble wrap and put cardboard around it to make sure that it arrives safely to them, because I understand that like that's not on them that the shit broke, but it's also not on me. One of the reasons why I was reluctant to get into vinyl is because I know how prancy fucking the collectors are of vinyl, that like give a shit like if there's like a bent edge or whatever kind of goofy shit that they feel is not going to help them resell the shit in Discogs. I don't really give a shit about those people and their opinions. To me, it's like what was the dude, Bobby Lee, I think, the comedian, and like I'm not sure if it's a Hangover or whatever, but they're like asking him about why he's such a bad driver, and his response is just, "Did you die? Did you die? Okay, well then shut the fuck up." And that's kind of how I feel with like crack or edges or cracked. It's like, does it play? Does it work? Then shut the fuck up. Just listen to. Who gives a shit? My favorite records have people's names on them and are beat the shit. They sit on my fucking shelf. I listen to them. They're all bent up. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm there to listen to the music. I don't fucking care about the collector part of it. Like, I'm genuinely a fan of the music, and the cosmetics are, neither here nor there. So those sort of people I don't usually even respond to because it's just so fucking goofy. As far as like people that request like a refund, usually I try to work something out with them, but I do have a list of people that I've just pretty much excluded from buying shit. And if I see that their names come through, like they order something, I'll send them a refund and then like block them, because I'm not, it's not okay. There's certain people that have like fucked me over art wise that I will like, say for instance, like I've bought some artwork and I didn't fucking like it, or like you had a problem with the artist. If the artist, I won't block them. I'll let them continue to buy stuff from me because it's like I'm getting my money back. But there's also a lot of artists that I've bought shit from that maybe couldn't deliver the artwork, or the artwork just fucking sucked. And I just write that off, take it as a loss. In life, sometimes you gotta hold an L, and I'm not above holding a loss. It's happened to me many a times, and like, if that means that I don't deal with someone that's gonna add any sort of like stress or like just fucking piss me off, I'll take that loss. Like, what is it? It's Carlito's Way, where the dude's gonna kill somebody over like $500, and the dude's like, you could kill him and not get your $500 back, or you will never have to deal with that fucking person again, and it only costs you $500. That's where I am in life now, where I'm just like, you know what? All right, I know I'm never gonna have to deal with this chicken shit motherfucker again, because they think that they just got over on me on like $15 or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, have your fucking $15. That's fucking nothing. That's some broke boy shit. Like, okay, cool, good for you. So that's kind of like where I am with people that kind of like punish me and want all that kind of stuff. Let me see what else you asked. Again, like the people that ask for tracking, when I actually have something sent out, I use this new program that sends out the tracking number to everybody. There are certain people that order from me, and I don't know if it's like an automated email response, but it's like, hey, can you send me tracking, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I just don't even respond. It automatically sends it out to them. And also, you'll get it when you get it. Fucking quit having FOMO. It's not that serious. It's fucking cassette tape or fucking CD or a record. Listen to it online. Fucking cares, dude. Come on. As far as like packing, I pack generally pretty good. I use bubble mailers. They're pretty expensive. I try to do a good job with stuff that I ship out and put stuff in as like kind of like blockers to kind of help them out in the mail. But yeah, I think that that's, I don't want to like spend a fucking hour talking about different punishers. Let's just say that I don't cotton to them. And this isn't even just like me dealing with like the label and people that purchase from me. Like if I see bands or other people with labels, if I catch someone talking shit, like that's just it. We're fucking done. Like if you are too much of a fucking pussy to say something to me directly, and you just want to speak out the side of your mouth about me, okay, cool, we're done. There's nothing that's going to fix that. Just fuck you for life. That's just how it goes. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, fucking this person died and you know we were good friends at one point. Like, nah, man, fuck you and death too. We're taking this shit all the fucking way. So yeah, it's one and done. So it's not that serious though with like customers. Everybody seems to be pretty calm and collective and understand that I'm like a person, you know, and like I haven't had too many outrageous punishers. You know, for some reason most of them that I do deal with are from Europe. So thankfully I have some friends that are helping me with distribution in Europe so that I can circumvent and not deal with that anymore. Although the people that are ordering from them primarily are really solid friends and people that I would like to hook up. So, I mean, it's not at a loss. It'll usually be from somebody that's never bought from me, that's used to being fucked over by other labels. So I also try to take that into consideration. I do know that most people are human as well. And you know, sometimes I forget something and that shit happens, but I usually try to take care of those people. So hopefully that answers some of your questions, Jaime, without me exposing myself for how much of a fucking prick I actually am in real life, because, you know, I got to keep up that I'm somewhat nice. Yeah, so I got another question recently that I figured was worth going over. It was a really in-depth question that I got. Let me pull it up here. So this comes from the band Cherry Rats, and they ask, I wonder if you're still fielding questions here. If so, what do you think is the most creative, unique thing you've done that has yielded the most bang for your buck as far as making your label accessible and known to more people? What has been your biggest failure in this venture? If someone was starting today, what is the very first thing you would tell them to do to get eyes on their label or band? Wow. So, let me see here. The most bang for my buck, or are we talking about bang for people's bucks? I think one of the things that worked out pretty well, that's kind of asinine considering that I have a label, was during the beginning of COVID, I knew that people were gonna have shit else to do, so I made everything on the label free digitally for people, and that resulted in you know, like 100,000 plus downloads of albums. And if I would have known that all it took for people to be listening was them just saying they're fucking cheap broke bastards that don't want to pay for shit, I would have made things free a long time ago, because I grew up personally pirating. So like the whole digital realm and like charging for it's kind of weird to me. I understand why it happens, and I do it sometimes here and there. But I think that making everything free was really beneficial for like an explosion of people diving into everything and kind of giving it a shot. And that was pretty cool, and unique for me and for everyone that is affiliated with the label, because just a ton of people all of a sudden became interested, which was fucking, you know, as a label, that's what I want, is people listening. So that was fucking cool. My biggest failure in this venture, I don't know, fucking everything. I put out underground music, dude. It's I don't know what's a success. If there is a success, I haven't found it. Usually the best case scenario is like having something to do, another pressing of another thing that's, you know, I don't know. This isn't like pop music, so you know, I've for the whole time I've had this label, I've pretty much worked multiple jobs on top of running the label. So I'm still waiting to get to that point where there's gonna be success. But for me, the success I measure is like personal success and happiness, and the feeling that I get of being able to push the music that I push from friends. That in myself I count as a win. So that's pretty big for me. And this year is the first year that I was able to kind of take a step away from some of my other extracurricular activities and kind of put a lot of focus on just the label, which was really fucking cool. So, and if someone was starting today, what's the first thing you would tell them to do to get eyes on their label or band? I don't know. What I would tell anybody that's looking to start a label is don't be afraid to fail, and don't expect immediate results. Keep with it. Keep trying things out, and go from there and grow. I think something that's really important is offering something that other people can't offer. Like, give them a unique experience. So if you do a label, try to do a label that spotlights like maybe your local area, and put emphasis on providing a platform for folks around you. You know, I think that that's like super important, because then if you build up the people around you, you all get to grow together, and it's just mutually beneficial on all levels to do something like that. So I think if a label wanted to do that, that's really important. I would say do something like that as opposed to trying to work with bands from all over, and focus on your local area, because there might not be that right now, and that's kind of special and unique, and someone would be like, oh wow, I wonder what's going on in this one specific area, and you're able to curate something like that. I think that's really fucking cool. Another thing I would say is focus on the music. Don't be afraid to say no. There are a lot of fucking bands that don't deserve to be on a label or have any affiliation with them. There's a lot of bands that just fucking suck. And most bands, to be honest, even if they are good, most bands are just going to fucking break up. They're not going to be in it for the long run, and they're just gonna be a flop. Like, that's okay. But don't try to roll out the red carpet for just anyone, you know? I think that's super important. I've seen some labels kind of go underground, and just kind of like bury themselves entirely to where they can't get out because they, you know, said yes to certain things. don't try to live beyond your means, you know. I waited over 10 years to put out vinyl. It's not cheap and it's not easy to do something like that. Don't put yourself in a serious amount of debt, you know, kind of check things in your life and kind of see where you are. If you have a family, if you have bills, make sure all that shit's covered first before really putting emphasis on the label, you know, like take care of yourself first, because if you don't take care of yourself, then you're not going to be able to help anyone else. So prioritize correctly and deliver something that's worthwhile and unique to people. And also don't worry about just doing like physical media. Like this day and age, most people aren't even buying physical media. They're just listening on like CD or Spotify and Bandcamp and shit like that. And even then, like, it's okay to say no to some of that stuff. And that's not for me to say that like bands should work with digital only labels. That's a whole other topic that we can explore at some other time. But yeah, if you're trying to be a band that's trying to get recognized, put in fucking work. Play shows. Don't be afraid to pay your fucking dues. And don't try to jump the line in front of a bunch of people. If you want to become the big fish in your small pond, prove your worth in your local community. Be a band that hosts bands on tour. Make things happen. Lift each other up. You know, that's the way that you can get people listening. Like word of mouth is super strong. Like you can be one of these like fly by night like bands that get a bunch of internet hype and get popular, but like it's super rare, you know. That's like fucking getting picked to play in the NBA or like some professional sports team. Like it doesn't happen for everybody, and some people just aren't that serious to do that. So just put in work to get yourself to the next level, and don't forget that it's about being a band, you know? Have fun as a band. Don't put too much emphasis on, oh, I need to have this release. I need to have this many shirts, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're just asking to put yourself in debt. And that's not a way to do anything. Like, I at this point, I respect bands that don't have merch, that don't have music, and don't have anything yet, but they just play shows. Like, to me, that's like, oh, shit, you actually care about being a fucking band. So you want to make sure that you're a good live band and that you care more about that than you do about having this shit to market to people. So I think that that's really important for bands to realize too. And also maybe just know your role where you are in your scene and in your band. If you're not going to be a national or an international band, and maybe you're just going to be regional or a local band, just own that, you know? Don't try to headline shows. Don't try to do the most. Like, work your way up and build your audience and just kind of go from there. I think that that's like really important for bands to do. So hopefully those answer a couple of questions that you folks had. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop a comment, send me a message. I'll do another video and try to address those. Also, check out Vile Rights, sick fucking band from Santa Rosa. We did talk about working together, but they found another label. I got to hear some of their new stuff yesterday or the day before. Sounded pretty killer. Wicked dudes, total support. Yeah, so hope y'all have a good week, and this is a COVID-free face. Thanks for everyone supporting, and I hope you're checking out the new shit, and got a bunch more coming. Peace.